welcome back. You're at Adobe Live. I'm Melanie, and I will host this portfolio session with you with the lovely, amazing Ian Anderson.
Hello.
Hi, still great to have you here. You had a wonderful chat with Emma already before.
Yeah, we just finished, so I'm raring to go.
You're feeling still fresh after 3 days of conference?
Well, I've actually had 3 days, 2 days of working in a hotel room because I need to do some work.
It's even worse.
It, it's okay. I mean, before COVID, I used to travel so much. So I'm just used to kind of working my laptop in a hotel room. Do you know what I mean? So I just work and travel, and so I don't really mind that. And actually, I don't really like seeing other people talking. Do you know what I mean? I find it really hard to concentrate. I'm happy to talk about people's work. I'm happy to look at a book or whatever. But the whole thing of sitting in an auditorium watching somebody on stage talking about design is just like.
It can be exhausting.
Yeah, but also the other thing is I think it's really dangerous because I don't script what I talk about because I know the work, obviously, and so for me, it's kind of quite. It just comes naturally. I talk about this, and what I remember from the project. So it's different each time, really, because you remember different things. But the danger is if you look at, for me, if I watch a lot of talks before I do mine, I kind of think, oh, that was a good point. maybe I'll kind of mention some of that, and you get to your own talk and your head is full of like, oh, did I remember to say that? What was I going to say? So it's just. I like the whole feel of conferences, but I probably like the sound of my own voice better.
Well, then I would still ask you, maybe you join us for the after show party tonight and we listen to a bit of really good techno.
Yeah.
So, that's good?
Yeah. If I'm still awake.
Yeah. Ian, we have
Yeah.
a portfolio to review here. Sebastian
Okay.
is waiting for us online. We can't see him, but we can hear him. Hello,
Okay.
Sebastian, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello.
Wow, that
Nice
was
having me.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm really fine here. From Germany, and my Wi-Fi connection is so bad, it broke down. So now I'm on mobile. I'm sorry for that.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry too. I mean, I'm such a luddite with technology. I applaud you for managing to get it on your mobile because I'd have just gone like, oh no, I can't do it. Anyway, so whereabouts in Germany are you?
Again, please.
Whereabouts in Germany are you?
I'm in Hanover. So and also studied there visual communication. And now I have I founded my own studio. It's called Büro Sebastian Moog, which are with friends and a lot of people, like 5 we are.
Okay.
And we're making type design, editorial, and space, like exhibition design for museums.
Okay, good. And so this work you're showing, is this from your group or is it just yours?
This is just and this what it showed right now. It's like my bachelor degree I made, and I have a lot of questions for you prepared a little bit.
Okay,
so,
good.
like for this one, it's like it's called das typografische Manifest. It's like the type manifesto, and it was printed in digital print and also with letterpress. So it's like a digital analog hybrid.
Good.
And my question is, like, is it important for you to showing the process, like how it's made, or that the people which are looking at this, that they understand, okay, I have also a website and everything inside?
Yeah. So is this question sort of mainly to do with how you present the work?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay. So I think showing the process is important only if it helps to tell the story or sell the story. Because sometimes too much information to a client, it just confuses them. So, I think another key thing that I learned was that, when you're at art school or university, whatever, and you're asked to explain your work, it's the explanation is nearly always an analog kind of explanation. You start with, here was my understanding of the thing, and this is, and then I did this, and then I did that, and then I did something else, and then we did this, and then at the end of it, you kind of say, and voila, there's my piece of work. That, you know, and I think that's when you present to clients or potential clients, you have to do it the other way around, because you need to go in with a punchline. So you need to go like, so essentially it's, this was your problem, this is how we solved it, and this is how we communicate the solution, and you go bang, there it is. So that when you start talking about the process of how you got there, they already know what you're explaining. If you start at the beginning with, we've talked about some colours and we've talked about some typefaces, etc. A client is just really trying hard to concentrate on where you're going. They're waiting for a reveal, because all they want to see is what you've done. Then they want you to explain it. So I think it's almost, if you have an analogy of telling a joke, you kind of have to give the punchline first, and then you explain the joke. And that, but in my experience, it's often dangerous to go into too much of the process. Once you've got the client and you're talking to them about like what you want to do and why, then it's more informal. But in terms of pitching, the more information you give them on the creative process, because what they want to know is that the piece of work that you've done for them is going to benefit them. They're not really interested in the fact that you've tried a few different typefaces and you've used letterpress and you've mixed digital and analog, blah, blah, blah. They just want to know that whatever you've done for them works for them. And if you talk about your process too much, especially to someone that doesn't really understand the creative process, then it's just confusing. And all you do is you give them more opportunities to kind of be critical of what you've done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I'm typing and writing down everything.
Okay.
So it's perfect for me. Yeah, it really makes sense for me. Yeah.
Sebastian, is there a project you would like me to show next? Or should we stick to that one?
Yeah, the next one was a newspaper. Yeah, this one.
Whilst this one is opening, we say a quick hello to the chat. It's great to have everyone here. Hello, Oliver. Hello, Wolfgang. Good to see you. Axel is there. Andreas. So good to see you. In case you have questions, drop them in the chat. But now back to you, Sebastian.
Okay, the newspaper project. There's a question to Ian, and should I present in English or German? Or I have also the idea because the client was German, to having a voiceover, like a small voice message, to explain the project in English or French or in another language. Is it important to make it in English and German, or how do you think is it with the languages? Is it better to make only English, or
Well, I think it depends on your audience. I mean, I know it seems an obvious answer, but if you're I think if you're looking to present to or connect with international audiences, then I would say English is probably a better one. But then you're German, you're based in Germany, and if and you don't see, I don't know how German clients who are looking to it with German creatives, I don't know how they respond to the fact that you communicate with them in English. Do you know? So if you've got, I would say, if you've got the ability, or in terms of speaking good English, or getting a good English translation, then I would do two. I would just do so a lot of websites that we've directed, in the last 10 years, there's nearly always been, for non-English clients, there's nearly always like two versions. You know, so I mean, and there's some interesting sort of things that we've had to learn that not every when you translate, say, from English say to Portuguese. Portuguese text is about 1.5 times as long as English, because the Portuguese language, in a similar way I think to German, doesn't contract in the same way that English can. I mean, you can make a lot of in English you can cut things down and you can simplify things or whatever. But say in Portuguese you can't do that. You can do it in speaking, but you can't do it so much. So when we've been working with the
Ian,
Gulbenkian
I'm sorry
Foundation,
to interrupt. We have about 3 minutes left, so it's really tight on time.
Okay.
Sebastian, I'm really
No,
sorry.
that's fine.
Ian, Sebastian, do you have any questions that are important for you that you'd like to know?
Because can you please scroll down from the project, because I want to ask Ian, is it important to put press and awards also on the credits and also name everybody which was included in the project?
When you work with a lot of corporate clients, they want to know who's involved in the project, what you've done, etc., because they want to know what they're dealing with. Most of the clients that I work with don't want to know that. Well, I don't let them know that. It's just if you're working with Designers Republic, there could be 1 million of us, or there could be one. You know, so I don't want people to know that. And if they have an issue with that, then they're probably not the right client for me. I would say, depending on what kind of clients that you're trying to attract, if it's bigger clients and you're a smaller studio, then awards, you know, might be good. I've never been interested in awards, but I've never had those kind of clients who are interested in them. And that might be a thing. So I think I would say, I know this sounds like a cop-out answer, but I would say if you think that the clients that you're aiming at would be impressed by the awards that you've won, then I think you should put them there. I think that you should have like almost a hidden part of your website where you have information about the people involved. Because I just think it's too much. I mean, I think the thing is what you're saying, like, here's our work. Once you start going down the whole thing, and here's the people who did it, and this is Mary who makes the coffee, and do you know what I mean, and all this kind of thing. I think I think that it depends how you want to be perceived. Do you want to be perceived as a creative company, you know, that's all about the creativity, or do you want to be perceived as a service agency where, like, hi, we're all lovely people and come and sit down and have a coffee with us and this, that and the other? Designers Republic was never that. It was just like, you know, I mean, we used to just tell people to fuck off. I know, you know, it's not, it's old, you know, but perhaps it's time to change, you know what I mean? But that was always our attitude, was that, like, you know, we'll do the work when we're ready. But we were lucky to be in that position, and I don't think that those times are the same anymore. I would put the awards there if you value the awards, and you were aiming at those kind of companies, then I would put them there. I wouldn't put the names of the people involved unless a particular client says, "Can you tell us who's what your team is and what skills you've got and because they want to know who they're going to talk to and who they build the relationship with."
Okay, perfect.
Sebastian, I'm really sorry, but I think we're out of time. It was so great to have you on the phone. Thank you so much for preparing the questions. That was really lovely to talk to you. Ian, your answers are on point. I love that.
Good.
And we have a couple more to come, so we can keep going. We have to say goodbye to Sebastian. It was great to have you here and talk to you soon, Sebastian.
Yeah, so I mean, I just want to say that, I mean, I just what I saw of your work, I really liked, you know, and if you've got a spare book to send me, you know, just get in contact. Be nice to be in contact with you.
Thank you so much for having me, and thanks to Ian. And have a nice party at the end of the festival. Okay.
Thank you, Sebastian. Well done.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Next one's up.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
My name is Dennis. Hello.
Hi, Dennis. Hello.
Hello. You all right?
Yep. Hi.
Good to meet you. Hi. Should we switch maybe? We don't need the headphones anymore. We can just
Yeah,
clip them
good.
here. Dennis, do you want to handle your own portfolio? I think that would make sense.
Yeah,
Because then
of course.
Good. Then let's switch quickly. And you're on the next tab.
Should we type it, right?
Yep. So there.
It's
Whoop.
just-
Yeah.
There you are.
It's not mine. Maybe we could use another one.
Oh yeah, we need to use yours.
Pocket.
we could just
Rock.
review somebody else's portfolio if you
Yeah,
want.
yeah. We'll
That's the way to get in here.
Agency should be somewhere. Pocket Rocket Agency, where we are. I never Google it, and like let's just Google it, right?
So whilst you maybe have a look.
On people. You made it on people.
Agency
If you click
Behance, maybe
here, it should work. There's people somewhere, and then
maybe,
it works.
but
Yeah.
it's yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. Very good.
Good. So it is just a few walks.
Perfect,
moment.
Dennis. It's good to have you here. Would you like to give a little bit of an intro and just do you have prepared questions, or how do you want to do that in best?
I don't know. Let's go how it goes. My name is Dennis. I'm creative director of a small boutique branding agency from Belarus, and we think that we are a more innovative branding agency dealing with innovative companies, startups, IT companies, and so on. So we really love branding, and we're passionate about that. And we have several cases that were successful. I'm looking forward to hear your opinion how we packed it on Behance as a portfolio. What do you feel like when you look through that, and like what is an average impression of the agency and our work?
Okay.
So what do you think?
Lots of questions at the same time, but I love the intro. So let's have a look maybe at the first project to get into details.
Yeah, let's go with that one. I really love it. Actually, we have videos inside. So we say like we invented the first in the history augmented reality logotype for the company that's responsible for that technology, AR-15 technology, Warner, and we created this strategy. So the portfolio, our idea was to tell the story, like from the strategy, and then a few words about the product, how it looks like, how it works, then few key images to impress the audience, then how it works on different, I don't know, mediums, then some statics, which is better quality, so you can enjoy beautiful people with their identity, and then, you know, just different samples of how it works in a static and in a architecture of the brand and in a movement format and on digital. I don't know, a lot of this design porn, as we say. Some systems, of course, some guidelines, and that's it. So basically the idea was to put as much moving object that tells that this is kind of flexible design system, so it adapts according to the product, how it develops in IT, because startup development is so fast, so we designed the system that they're really free for 10 years doing whatever, not calling us at night to fix their problems. So that's it. And then in the end, some more fun, some things that we not yet created and produced, but this is a prototype idea. And that's it. Some examples of presentations, B2B presentations that we made for them. Some bright hoodie that everyone likes to wear.
Ian, you already have some thoughts?
I don't know. It's pretty much long,
So,
probably.
this is you're showing that this is your portfolio. This isn't their website. This is your portfolio.
It's agency portfolio.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is.
So it's not their website. This is just you showing the work that you've done. Yeah.
Actually, we also have a website, but of course we are on Behance because it must have place, right?
Yeah.
It should be there.
But it's not the brand's website or brand's
Okay.
website, it's yours.
It's
It's the
agency.
project website.
Yeah, it's agency. We have several projects.
I mean, there's two responses I've got. One is that there's a huge wow factor in it all. I mean, it's really nice piece of design, and the way that it works and everything is really kind of, I think it's really fresh, you know. I mean, you don't see many things like that. So that's the first thing, is there's a big wow factor there, and the wow factor is based on all elements of the design, the way that you kind of continue it and expand and be playful, you know, with it. So in that respect, I think it's good, really good.
Yeah, thank you.
My only reservation, I think, is that there's a lot of it.
Too much, you say?
Yeah, because in it, I mean, this is quite a personal response. I mean, other people might go like, well, no, it's great. But I think that that quite often, especially things on Behance, is if you've got like design geeks going through it and going, wow, if you want to appeal to those people, then fine. But I think sometimes if you're looking to appeal to, potential newer customers, clients, whatever, then it's a lot. And I don't know if anybody who's out there on Behance is really going to give it that much time. So that's not to say don't do it, but I'm just saying that kind of, if you put this much into everything that you do, your time might be better spent doing other things. Because if you've got like just a sample of this, like the early bit, sort of like 4 or 5 things, and if people like it, they're going to contact you and go like, wow, we're interested in talking to you. Could we see some more? And then you can go like, there's all this.
Okay.
You don't. It's just,
makes sense.
It's just. I just think it's a bit too much. Although I couldn't say that there's anything in that presentation, in that piece of body of work, that shouldn't be there. I mean, it's all good, but it's just sometimes it's just too much.
Okay. Yeah, it's good.
Leave people wanting more.
And
because as you go down, you're not saying anything different. Really, you're just showing a different version of something.
actually, we got some text, but this is my next
I
question.
think this is nice because it's just playful. It's not just saying here's the font. So it shows that. I think this part's good because it's not only about the client and the work you've done for the client, but it also has a bit of you in the Behance presentation as well. And I think that's sort of good.
Yeah, thank you.
But there is a lot of repetition. Do you know what I mean? By the end of it, it was a little bit like I wasn't so wowed by the wanna.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Because the first bit's obviously you go like, whoa, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I think.
Yeah. Thank you. And some more question about the text. Do people really read text on Behance? And do we need to put it there? I mean,
Do people read text at all?
Yes.
I mean,
let's start with that question.
I would say the one thing that.
Thank you.
What can I say? There was a little bit that you had, where you say, we wanted the bold colours, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So that's, you see that a lot, but to me, it's, if I was a potential client, I don't really care what you wanted. Do you know what I mean? It's like, what you should be saying is, the bold colours work X, Y, and Z for the brand.
Yes. Yes.
So whether you chose them or we wanted or we thought, so when students do presentations in my workshops, and they kind of say, I had this idea, and we're like, no shit. Do you know what I mean? I know you've had this idea because you've just told me. Do you know what I mean? And the fact that you're saying it.
Yeah.
And I just think that kind of if you're making all this, or putting all this effort into something for potential clients to see on Behance that you can direct them to, I think you should be talking about how this solves the client's problem and what it does for the client. Because there's a degree that says, actually, I'm looking at the clothes and I don't know that, apart from when you've got the hoodie with the wanna letters on it, that outfit doesn't, the wanna doesn't necessarily kind of fit with that outfit. I mean, I know it's the brand, so I'm not saying it's wrong or anything. I mean, it's great. But I think you should be explaining about why this communicates the spirit of the brand, blah, 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 rather than, well, we wanted to do some crazy
Okay.
word thing.
Yeah, yeah, I got the point, but it's usually not that easy to tell the story, like in few clicks on Behance especially, because I believe that Behance is more for designers and art directors. Or maybe I'm wrong right now. Do clients leave on Behance or look through from your practice and from your
I
life?
don't have anything on Behance because
But
I mean, to be honest, I come from a different time and I'm in a different position, so that I never really sort of put out for work. I mean, my website's really, I did it just because I thought I ought to have a website. And it's got some images on there, but actually I think I'm going to take all the imagery off and just have the text that's on the front page.
okay.
And because people come to Designers Republic for a reason and they know about Designers Republic, or they don't come to Designers Republic for a reason. I don't think that what I do now, I mean, what you've got here is sort of technologically way more advanced
Yeah.
than any stuff that I do, because you've come from in a different generation. Do you know what I mean? For me to learn how to do all that, I'm a bit like, I mean, I can art direct it. I can say, why don't we do this? But then, if I had to say how you do it, I'll be like, I don't know. Ask Dennis. You know. So I think that you know better than I that whether Behance works for you. I mainly go there because of student portfolios, not professional portfolios.
Okay, I got it. Okay, thank you. Maybe we could look through another one because it's slightly
Yeah?
different.
I mean, I'm
Yep,
not in charge.
sounds good. No, we're there. As long as we don't get a sign, we have a look. Yes. Let's
Yeah, yeah, let's go. So what do we have? We started, the first screen is kind of not commercial, it's just our fun. We made this hoodie, just flowing around with a nice mood. But this is a rebranding of serious IT company. But this screen is not, completely not. And then we just telling the story about IT Rex, how we combine the Rex, the dinosaur,
Yeah.
and IT and B2B business to be both straight and serious.
Yeah.
We as an agency we like to be bold, and sometimes we push our clients on that side. So even in conservative side of business consulting, you could be not blue IT company but yellow and maybe hungry.
Yeah.
And of course, in the background, we had the research, and we understood that the whole team is really hungry for something bigger, for more, for growth, for, I don't know, employees for clean code, and the management for impact for their companies and so on. So we combined this all together with a verbal communication like hungry, and the dinosaur, and some T's, of course, as you can find.
Yeah.
You can see
Nice.
these or not, but it's kind of modern particle. And of course we put a lot of these hungry texts. Of course we've done this, all the guidelines. How do we put all together imagery, text, and so on? I don't know. Do we need to put these slides because clients never will understand that, but some people on Behance probably respect us for that. I don't know.
mean, I would,
Hi guys.
I would kind of say, I mean, I would leave the viewer hungry for more. I mean, the teeth thing and the sort of the T-Rex. I mean, that was really nice. But again, it's just whether it's whether it's too much, and also, I think that.
It's not the end, by the way. Of course.
There's
I,
always more.
I guessed it wasn't the end. I thought I'd just dive in. I mean, I like all. Again,
like this kind of
I
fun,
love.
probably.
I love all the individual elements. Again, I mean, I think it's really kind of creative, and it's a really nice way of approaching it, and everything like that. What I like about it, it's a similar thing to what we used to do, is like trying to find different ways to communicate things. So I don't know if you saw my talk yesterday, but I was talking about how we kind of spent a long time sort of trying to find different ways of creating grids for type, whether you've got the perspective of a tall building or whether, which is what you're doing here, and I think it's really nice. And I love this logo. I think it's really kind of clever, but without being sort of smug, you know. And it's a little bit like, and it's also, it deals with I think it kind of deals with the elephant in the room, that kind of, do you go obvious with the T-Rex, or do you just go like, oh, it's, and I always think, it's better just to kind of go for the obvious, just because it's better that people think, oh, they went for the obvious, rather than like, oh, they missed a trick there, It's just, if you're going to have a company with that name, then you've got to go for it. But again, so here's looking at this a different way, and that is that you want to keep some of your tricks up your sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
You know that phrase. You want to keep something's kind of thing, because what you're doing is you're showing everything that you do. And you might get another client, and you might get to the point where, honestly, you'll end up repeating yourself, because there are only, when you're younger or whatever, and you've got a team, you think we can get a different. Well, we'll just do something different every time. But you get to the point where inevitably you start repeating yourself. And if everything is out there, if you just show the main kind of thing, you might kind of want to do that idea for somebody else. You know what I mean? And so you don't want to show everything, because the client can see. Obviously, I'm not saying like kind of, you go to the client, I'm not going to show you this. You're never going to see it. But I'm going to charge you for it, but I'm not going to show you it. But what is like really kind of impressive, I think, in both of the projects that you've shown me, the level of detail and thinking and application across all different media is really impressive.
Yeah, I think.
But I'm not sure that you need to show that much.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, we have some more information that we don't show it here because of NDA or something. Results, because all this project have incredible good B2B results in the end. And it's also my question to you, maybe altogether. Should we put some results of the project, like in 1 year? Should we update our case in 1 or 2 years? How does it leave, or how the company changed, or what happened after, or that really doesn't matter here on this Behance space? What do you think?
I think let's say, so when we did a rebrand for the Gulbenkian Foundation in Lisbon, and when we started, or was it for the music department? But anyway, when we started, they had something like 14-15% audience recognition of their brand.
Yeah.
And it was because it wasn't whether it was good or bad. It's because they didn't communicate it properly. It was very confused, and people didn't really know, and too many different designers were involved in doing different aspects. And so when we kind of came in to do the rebrand, the main thing that we wanted to do, apart from do some nice design or whatever, but the main thing that we wanted to do, I want to have a good time in Lisbon, but the other thing that we wanted to do, was to up that audience recognition, because there's no point having a brand if nobody recognizes what it is or what it means or what it communicates.
Exactly.
So we did this, and then it went from something like 14% up to 82%. So that is good information for a client, because it shows that your work is successful and that you understand the market and that you understand them. And the only reason they're coming to you is to improve their brand recognition or sales or whatever. They're not just coming to have a nice Behance show, So I think that in that situation, if you can find like an interesting way, because numbers always work. People are always attracted to numbers, So it's that kind of thing where we've never really done it, but there's websites where they kind of say, 2020, 16 new clients. And it's a great way of showing that you're being successful without going like, we're a really great agency
Yeah,
and people
yeah,
really
yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You just go, here's the numbers. You can make of it what you will. And sometimes I think that agencies kind of understand that for clients about that succinct kind of communication, and then don't get it when they're communicating their own thing because you want to say everything. It's just like, oh, and by the way, somebody also said that they like, and you know, and it's just this whole sort of thing. Just think, step back and go like, okay, so how many clients have you got? Is that impressive? No, we'll ignore that. You know, sort of how many, you know, and what basically the impact of your work. So that if you're going for commercial like clients, you know, for whom it's like crucial or critical to kind of get increased sales or whatever, if you can just quite simply sort of say, well, we can do that, that's kind of what they need. And then this just illustrates all those things. This feels like it's very much designers wanting to show off, and it's good work. So I mean, you know, in fairness, you should show off with it, but it's showing off to other designers. And the problem with that is that designers never really commission other designers to do it, to do the work for them. You know, and quite often wouldn't have the budget that you'd want anyway. But I mean, those two fantastic projects. I really love it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's lovely feedback. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for
thank you
being
so
here, Dennis.
much.
Thank you for showing your work. And also, Ian, thank you for your feedback. That was incredibly valuable.
Are we done?
We are done. Let's
Yay! Let's get the party started.
let's do that.
I'm done
Thank
for
you
the week.
both so much. And bye-bye to the audience
Bye-bye.
online. Thank you so much for joining.
Bye.
See you, bye-bye.
I'm saying bye the camera.